This is the Galax Sonar 2, and it comes in at around 850 Rand. So let's see what you actually get for the price and if it is any good. So in the box, you do get the Sonar 2 headset that connects to your PC via USB cable, but then you also get an auxiliary cable if you wanted to connect this headset to other devices, like a Switch for example, but then it just leaves you with this awkward length of cable that you can't remove since the hub is fairly high up on the cable, and then you still have all of this extra cable that still needs to sort of hang around. And then lastly is this piece of paper which acts as the user manual, but there isn't much to read and everything is sort of just straightforward. Now the style and look of this headset is fairly simple. You do have this vent on the side which has RGB, which isn't overbearing, which I personally like in headsets because I don't really like flashy RGB headsets myself. And then you have the soft headrest as well as these ear cups, which have a synthetic leather that they actually wrap it with, which really does make a really good seal around your ears, and it sort of blocks out unwanted noises from the outside a little, but not a lot. Now the comfort for me was decent. It wasn't the most comfortable headset that I've ever worn, but it is fairly lightweight, so it doesn't weigh a lot on your head. It also doesn't clamp heavily on the side of your head, so it doesn't create this sort of fatigue on the side of your head. But it isn't that flexible as well, so depending on your head shape and your head size, the mileage may differ. It may sit extremely comfortable for you, or it may be extremely uncomfortable for you. And then the ear cups aren't as breathable, so it did heat up my ears fairly quickly. So I did find myself sort of removing these every now and then just to sort of cool them down a bit. But other than that, it is a really good fit. Now onto the build quality side of things, this entire thing is made out of plastic. Even this sort of inside ring is also made out of plastic, but it does feel fairly sturdy. It doesn't creak and crack a lot, which is really good. And the overall quality of this headset does seem decent compared to others, especially in the price range. Then the inside strap also has these lines to indicate what size you actually set the headset to, which is really great for making it uniform for both sides to make it equal, and then also for you to remember what size you actually set it to make it comfortable every time you put it on. And then you also have this mic on this headset that can't actually be removed, but it is fairly easy to put it exactly where you want it to be, and it does stay where you want it to be fairly easily, as some other headsets actually have this sort of mic that is very stiff. So as soon as you start moving it to different locations, it just sort of makes its way back to wherever it was and wherever it feels comfortable at. Meaning if you want to sort of tuck it away like with this one, they will just sort of sag back down. As with this one, it's fairly easy, just put it out of the way and it will stay there until you actually need it. Then you can just pull it down and use it. Then in terms of cable length, you do have a 2.2 meter long cable, which is really good for people whose PCs are a little bit further away from them. And then in terms of control, everything is located on this sort of dock here, which is attached to the cable fairly high up. And this is where you can control the RGB, your mic, as well as the volume. The controls on the module are fairly straightforward. If you press the light button, it turns the RGB on or off, and the RGB is located on the sides of the headset as well as on the mic as well. Then when it comes to the mic, if you have the slide button on the mic icon, the mic is on. If you slide it down away from the icon, the mic is muted. And then on the other side, you do have your volume knob, which you can rotate to turn the volume up or down. And then below that is the auxiliary jack, which you use to plug in the auxiliary cable to then connect to your consoles, if that is something that you want to do. And when it comes to the sound quality, it's good. It's not the best in this sort of price range that I've heard, but it is still fairly decent. The bass and mids for me were a bit muddy, especially when listening to music and watching videos, but in games it performed exactly the way it should. In games I felt that I could easily hear enemy players, the footsteps sounded alright, and overall the experience for me was good while using it. Now I was able to easily identify where enemy players were coming from with this headset, but you do have the option to use 7.1 virtual surround sound, which if you want to use that, you'll just have to install separate software for that, but there is an option for this headset as well. Now in terms of quality of the headset mic, let's actually take a listen to how it sounds to see if it is any good. And this is the quality of the headset mic itself. This is with the mic sort of in front of my face, and this is sort of what you can expect everybody else will hear if you use this mic in games. Now if you plan on using this for videos or live streams as well, this is sort of the quality that you can expect straight out of the box. Now you can still add EQ on top of this to make it sound better, but other than that, this is sort of the ground floor that you will be working from, and this is the audio quality
from this mic.
Now overall, for the price, this is actually a very decent headset. You get a headset that performs good in games, that can not only be connected to your PC but other devices as well, and you get 7.1 virtual surround sound, which some others don't offer you. The one thing about this headset that I didn't actually like is the way that you connect to other devices via this auxiliary cable, as it does leave this sort of awkward length of cable at the end, which is something that can be a bit of a problem, because even if you roll up this cable to the actual point, you still have all of this extra cable that needs to go somewhere. And if you're using this on a console or anything else, then you sort of still have this extra piece that's just always going to be dangling, which can be a bit annoying. Now I do have to add, at least they do give you the option to connect to different devices, which a lot of headsets don't actually do. And a lot of people don't want to go out and buy different headsets for different devices. So you can just go buy this one and it works on your PC as well as your consoles. And then of course, if you're just going to buy this for your PC, then you don't have to worry about that at all, since the USB cable at the end plugs into your PC. Now, if you're interested to purchase this headset or any other sort of computer part, be sure to check out Matrix Hueras. And then until next time, cheers.